Come on, get my pumpkin. My baby.
Is that how you said that?
All right, good evening, everybody. How you doing?
What's up?
This is the Monterey Channel. We're in Greenville, South Carolina. That is the other half of Monterey.
I'm Ray.
That's Ray. Ray, how you doing?
I'm great.
Right here we have, introduce yourself, please.
I'm Parris Harris.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Lil Dot.
No, we laugh every time we hear that name, Parris Harris. So she's the lucky one. She got the Harris to go with the Parris. I'm Neal Harris.
All right, Neal Harris, how you doing?
Some days
sir?
I feel like I'm Parris Harris.
Right here, who we have here?
So I'm Chrstovia, Ramos. I was Chrstovia Harris up until I was 7. My parents got married when I was 7, so I became Chrstovia Ramos.
Okay.
This is my wife.
Your girl, Johanna Ramos. How you doing?
So I'm a nephew to my Uncle Neal
Okay.
and cousin to you.
All right. And we're going to flip it over to me. What's going on? How you doing? This is
Take it over.
I'm huh? Oh, you know I can do it like this. I'm
There you
tripping.
go.
All right. How y'all doing? I'm Mun, other half of Monterey.
I'm Ray.
That's right. And Ray's over there on the other side. That's right. You already know who we are. Right now, we're going to do something that pretty much, we about to dispel this myth that black love does not exist. All right.
Lies.
We have 3 couples.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't rehearsed. This is just off the top. We're not gonna take too much of everybody's time because it's a little late, but yet still I want to show the world and the younger generation that love and hip hop is something that is staged, it is not real. You got 3 couples who black and are in love and married.
Different stages of marriage, different stages of love, different levels of love, but love being the operative word.
All
And
right.
love operates in these relationships, and that's what's
Okay.
important.
What I want to ask right now, I'm gonna go if anybody can answer. What is the most important thing of your relationship that keeps y'all tight, keeps y'all together? What is it?
So for me, because I talk so much, it's our commitment, man. So we stood before. First of all, we stood before God. And we stood before our families, our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles. And we made a commitment. And what we said was that commitment was for life. It wasn't for right up until we get to a disagreement or right up until, we're not comfortable doing what we said we was going to do. It was for life. And so, me and my wife, we said, okay, when we hit turbulent times, if we ever decided to terminate this, let's call all those people that were there when we made the promise and tell them that we get ready to unpromise.
Right.
Let's call them all. So let's don't hit a hard time and then sneak out of it.
Cool.
And so what we said was if we ever get to that point, we want the same people at the breakup who were there at the marriage.
Wow.
And it quiets all that conversation. And we go back to, let's work through this thing. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And it brings tears to my eyes because that commitment is real. And I'm done, son.
Yeah. All right.
It's like you win, son.
That's my uncle right there.
All right, please, my brother Chris, please.
For me?
Yeah. What about you?
I grew up an only child. So it was important for me to be fed. And what I mean by that, not just, food. I'm talking about food for thought. I'm talking about love, how to carry forward the love that I was seeing from my folks, right? So, as children, we emulate those who we want to be like.
Mm-hmm.
When we see something that fascinates us or that we know that will be advantageous for our future, that's where we become content with what we're learning, with what we're seeing, and with what we, desire to be. And so for me, for many years, I just looked at my mother, I looked at my father, I looked at my grandmother, I looked at my grandfather, right? And so when it was my turn to marry my wife, the commitment that my uncle spoke of, I had to echo that because that's what I saw, because that's what I knew, that's what I wanted to be. So when you have a family like ours, we're on our 58th family reunion. I think we're on our 58th this year.
Yeah, 58 years.
58 years. I have so many great uncles and their wives, and so many men and women who I can look up to. I just said, let me just do that. Let me just do what they did, and then I'll find my way. And that was the first step for me. Let me just do what they did, the best that I could do, and then we'll see what happens from there. That's step one for me. And that's where I am in my marriage. My wife and I have been married for 16 years now.
Come on
Come on
now.
now.
Come on.
16 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just Johanna and I, it's all of us.
Yeah.
It's all of us in our marriage. It's all of us in our relationship. And so I know that I can depend on my family. I know that. And that makes me happy. That makes me happy. And it keeps me excited about the solution to my issues, to my problems. And just knowing that the woman that I asked to marry me had a desire to marry me. Not just to say yes, but she also had a desire to marry me, to combine what I'm bringing to the table with what she was bringing to the table. And I'm gonna leave it right there for right now.
Okay, that's what's up. All right. Baby, what was it about me that made you want to marry me?
What it was about you that made me want to marry you was your passion, your involvement, your desire to dream, your desire to protect, your desire to show me how beautiful I am and how I need to be treated, how I deserve to be treated. And that was from, again, Tuesday, October 30th, 2012 to this day. And it's never wavered. It's never wavered. And I knew that I wanted to be your wife. One, when you asked me, and I also knew, thank you, and I also knew that when I knew I didn't want to be without you. Whether we were hanging out and you left to go to the store, or hell, you got up to go to the bathroom and I missed you. And you're 10 feet away. So for that stuck with me because I've been in relationships before, but I've never been in a friendship before. And the friendship is what led me there, but your love is what kept me there. So, yeah.
You know, if I could add, I listened to what my nephew said, and I'm listening to my cousin over here. And another thing that Parris and I talk about a lot is what is it that informs us, right? She often challenges me. She said, "Well, Neal, you don't have very many friends." And I said, "Well, baby, I don't need very many friends because friends bring information. People bring information. And what I want to be informing my life is the things that I'm committed to. So what Parris and I do is we share information, we share books, we share stories, we share our imagination. And so, she says sometimes I'm a little bit overprotective. I'm probably a lot overprotective. And what am I trying to protect her from? I'm trying to protect our institution. Our institution. You understand? And so I build a wall around this. I build a wall around it. And it's not a wall of control. It's not a wall of ownership. It's a wall of love, compassion, and commitment. And nothing that I can think of is going to subvert what it is that we're doing. And so what we try to do is keep the noise out. Keep the noise out. Yeah. Any woman that tell me she don't need a man, she a fool. You understand? So I don't need to talk
That's
to
another
that. Any man that tell me he don't need a woman is a fool.
Yeah.
So I just keep that out. And what we like doing is surrounding ourselves. I had a friend of mine, I'm gonna stop talking. He said, Neal, we met years ago. And I call him out, John Williams. And John said, Neal, he was single guy. And he said, I ain't never been in a conversation with a man who talked all the time about his wife in a positive way. He said, I never heard that.
Wow. And
he said that's part of what encouraged him to say, you know what, I want to be in that kind of relationship. So yeah, this is normal. And I think that's what I'm getting at, is it's brothers out here who I encounter every day who talk about their wives all the time.
And happy about it.
And they're happy about it. So yeah, man, I mean, this lady right here, that's my little dot. That was a mama's name.
One.
what about you, baby?
All right, you know what? Since my cousin has broken down on, and you so eloquently said how you feel about me, let me be real about how I feel about you. You are my miracle.
Oh my God.
I never believed that I could actually find someone that I love everything about. I have really tried my hardest to try to pinpoint that one thing that makes me keep telling you I love you. And there's so many things about you that I love. So that one thing is amplified and multiplied. I am not a great man. I'm not going to sit here and lie to nobody. I have a turbulent lifetime. I've done some wild things, and you have made all those bad choices worthwhile because God led me to you. And what I believe in my heart, seriously in my heart of hearts, is that God was putting me through all this hell, preparing me to be a better man for you. So, I can't act as if I have everything together because I don't. I'm scared every single day. But I swear I'd rather be brave. I would rather be afraid with you than be brave by myself. You have done so much to make me the man I am today, and I'm not trying to take my parents, what they've done, but I have truly invested in everything you've been giving me. Why this is so, I guess, important to me because I hear how many times black women say that we are not to be trusted. We don't matter as men. We don't matter as fathers. We don't matter as husbands. And you got so many women having babies and don't want to follow around. Heard a young lady say, I want 2 kids, no husband. Lady said, well, I hope you want, she said, I hope you want to get married. I said, why, how can I get married and I can't collect child support? This is where we are right now. And to see you and I together, I'm happy every day. And I'm telling you, please forgive me, I don't want to fuck up. I'm so serious, I'm not trying to be perfect, I just want to be the perfect man for you.
Yes.
And I'm not playing, man.
Yes.
You are my soul, you are my heart, you are everything to me. And I don't give a damn who knows. I don't care how many times I have to say it. I've never been this kind of person before. I've always been standoffish, always trying to say I got it all together. I don't need nobody. But without you, I'm outside of my son, you're the only thing I've done right. That's why I love you. You took pity on me. And you don't know it. You're taking pity on me. That's why this here is supposed to be how it's supposed to be, and the world needs to know.
And that's a good thing.
You know what I mean? I love you. All right.
That's a good thing.
I don't know if I can follow up on that. I just zoomed in to 5, 2.9. Okay,
Okay. Ladies,
I'm ready.
Miss Parris, please
Yes.
tell me what it is about this man right here that got you saying the I do's and I do's and I do's.
What it is about this man, about you, Mr. Harris, is your strength. You let me know that it's okay to be me. You accepted my flaws and you encourage my strength all the time. You tell me I can when I feel like I cannot. You know, you keep my demons in check without me feeling like you're controlling me. You love me in spite of everything that I've been through when I feel like I shouldn't be loved or I'm not lovable. So you do. You accept my kids. You teach me every single day. I learn from you. I just feel like you are the most amazing person, and I'm blessed to be with you. I'm not a speaker.
I want to speak to children. You know, Parris and I have 6 children, 6. And I have no biological children. Now, follow brother here. I've never fathered a child. So she asked me, she said, well, you know, don't you want a child of your own? I said, yeah, I got 6. 6. Because if love was, you know, you hear people say, well, I love you with all my heart. Well, the heart is an organ. It just beats. And what I tell her is, I love you with my decisions. My decisions. I've never referred to any one of my children as a stepchild. Never. Because when we say I do, we do. And that's to all of it. All of it. So, you know, I've heard brothers say, man, I ain't taking care of nobody else's kid. Well, somebody took care of your ass. And many a time, it was not the person that caused your birth. Many a time. So let's get past this idea that everything is linear, right? It's not. It oscillates. So sometimes I'm 90 and she's 10. So this 50-50 stuff, that ain't half the time. And most of the time, it's not that. It's a 70-30. It's a 60-40. What Teddy said, it's real. So what am I saying? I'm saying that, us folk, we folk, let's admit our vulnerabilities. Let's be vulnerable sometimes. And show ourselves as human. And get past the entertainment of we don't need nobody.
I need you.
You got me, baby?
I want you.
All right.
Yeah, so that's us, man. That's us.
All right.
Mrs.
Mrs. Ramos, please. What is it about this gentleman right here that got you
Spill the
googly
tea.
eyes?
Chrstovia from the very beginning has been a reminder of how much God loves me. No greater love. This man, he really has created a problem because he has convinced me that I can do anything. He believes in me more than anybody has ever made me feel like I was being believed in, ever. And as you said earlier, that's not taking anything away from my parents. I'm allowed to mess up as long as I get up and try it again. Just not quit. And I have no reason to quit because he's always right there. Even in the uncomfortable situations when he does not want to be told. He does it anyway. So, to me, it was the fact that there were things about me physically that people would pick at a lot, and those same things that people picked at were the things that attracted him to me.
Witness.
Like I really asked. I was like, "Are you talking to me? Wait, I don't understand that you like my naturally curly hair, because I've been told that if I don't straighten it, I'm not pretty." You like my dark skin? And then for him to find in me what he thought was necessary to raise our daughter together. To trust what was in me, to impart in her at such a young age. She was 5, turning 6 when we met. That kind of trust, that kind of loyalty, that level of belief is why this man has got me. Because I know that there are days when I can be a bit much. There are days when you can be a bit much. But there's never been a time that we can't step up and one of us is feeling love, and that's all that matters.
It is. It is all that matters. If I could just have a quick follow-up with that. This isn't easy for my wife. I know it. It doesn't matter if it was just one person in this room other than the both of us. It's difficult for you to, express yourself around other people, for other people to know your business, right? This business right here, it needs to be heard. This business is serious business.
Go ahead, I'll talk about it.
And I'm gonna echo everything you just said, because what I know that the good book tells me is that my wife is a reflection of me.
Come on, come on.
And, you know, the 70-year-old couple that you mentioned, not falling out of love at the same time. Someone's always on when the other one's off. When I heard that, I said, I'm keeping that. I'm gonna utilize that. I'm gonna make that work for me. And that's what I've done my whole life. For those of you who will be seeing this, you have to understand there's nothing wrong with trying to be like somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as who you're trying to be like is gonna take you somewhere in life that will be advantageous for not just you, but for everybody that's connected to you. So it's easy for me to listen to a man like Neal. It's easy for me to listen to a woman like Parris and Rachel. It's easy for me to listen to a man like you, Monday. But you got to know that it's easy for me to listen to my own wife when I'm making decisions that come from the commitment that I made. Not just that commitment, but all the other commitments that it takes to make a marriage successful through the oscillating years. So for me, when I put my own thing on what I've learned from my people, what I put on it is what I put on it. The person who I'm made to be. And I'm a fun person. I love to have fun with my wife. I love to talk to my wife and just turn the TV off. Put the phone down.
That's it.
Put a table in the middle of your kitchen and cook with each other and talk about real things.
That's right.
And sit down and eat and pray and eat and talk about what's important. These are just simple things that I picked up over my lifetime. And my parents didn't have the perfect marriage. They were married 45 years before my mom passed away. Right? It wasn't perfect, but they were perfect for me. Right? They were perfect for each other. So I took what I saw, and if I saw my dad disrespect my mom in my eyes, I said, I'm not gonna do that.
Yes.
That's okay.
And when I saw my dad apologize, when he knew he was wrong, I'm going to do that.
So,
And you know, I'm not a man that likes to tell my wife what to do just because she's my wife. But sometimes I have to just allow my wife. Sometimes I have to allow myself to give my wife the opportunity to be who she is and who she desires to be to me. And when that happens, and I get it, right? And it's on me, it's in me, it's in my heart. Whatever was said is in my mind, right? Sometimes I know exactly what she meant. And it's well received right then. Sometimes I may not understand. But that doesn't mean because I don't understand that I just throw it away, disregard it. I have to sleep on that, I have to pray about that, I have to talk with my wife about that so that we can have an understanding. And the good book tells me and you and all of us, in all of our getting, in all this getting that we're getting, get an understanding. And that's where a lot of us fall short when there's a disagreement, when there's a divide, because there's no understanding. Even when you agree to disagree, there's an understanding in that. And you can still operate and achieve. Yep.
If If
Hold on, I'm gonna ask one question real quick, all right? I'm gonna go to Neal real quick. Give me one thing that made you say you wanted to marry Parris. What was that one thing? Just one thing.
So I was watching a video, a show, Sanford and Son, and the lady walked in and he said, "She's a fine, fine thing."
Let's be honest. Okay.
I wasn't ready.
Because, let me be honest, I'm a visual person.
Hmm?
Long before I got to know you, I saw you. And she carried herself like a woman should. She carried herself like a woman should. And I spoke to her. And she half spoke back. Don't they do that? They do that. But I continue to say in my mind, she's a fine thing.
All right, I will go ahead. Parris, what was it? What was it? About Neal that made you say you want to go ahead and be Miss Harris?
So,
That one thing. Just one thing.
so I saw Neal, but I didn't see Neal. But once I met Neal, I knew I wanted him to be my husband. He was everything that I never had. He was intelligent. He was smooth. You know, he was kind. He was everything. He was sexy. You know, he was older. He was mature. He was. Hey, fire my yard guy.
Right. Oh my goodness.
I lost you to my husband. So he was all that. It's not just one thing that made me want to marry Neal. It was the whole person. It was the whole him. His whole swag. And that's what made me want to marry him. Neal was everything. Is everything. How could I not?
All right.
The both of you are everything.
Baby,
Yes.
what was it about me that made you want to marry me? That one thing.
The way you treated me. Yeah, I've never been appreciated. Outside of my children, I've never been appreciated. I never felt appreciated. And you appreciated me. You showed it before you said it.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had to ask for it. And yeah.
All right.
And I think you're sexy.
Oh, well, thank you.
Not necessarily in that order,
Hello.
but there it is. Talk about it, right?
What was it about Rachel that made you want to marry her? One thing. One thing. Honestly, Monday, seriously, what made me want to marry Rachel? That one thing. And it's going to be sad to say, but she said she wanted to dream. I was blown. I've never heard nobody in my life say, "I want to dream with you." That I'm a dreamer, but I'm a dreamer. And this woman said, "I want to go to the mall. I want to sit in the courtyard with a burger, and I want us to just dream together."
Mm.
And I said, "That's what's up." That's that one thing. See, everybody else they need the menu. They decide. I said one thing. That's okay. We're gonna go over here to other people. Well, I said, hold on. Okay. One thing that made you want to marry Chris. Come on, Johanna, talk to me. That one thing. One thing.
Listen.
How many?
One.
Okay.
His determination to make me see myself like he did.
Wow.
Oh.
That's what he's been doing. That's what he started doing, and that is what he did 3 hours ago before we got here.
Good, okay. All right. Cause one thing.
One thing. It's my story. I prayed for a God-fearing wife in high school because I had a relationship in high school that wasn't good. And at that time, I was already thinking about my life and my future. And I remember when I was a senior in high school, I prayed to God for a God-fearing wife. And I knew that if she was God-fearing, then she had at least that to so-called work with, right? To be truthful and honest, to be, real, and all those things. And when I saw her, she had a light. She just had a light around her. And I told one of my coworkers, because she walked into my job, she walked into my life literally. And I told that person, I need to show you my wife. I need to show you my wife. I haven't even talked to her yet. I haven't even said anything to this woman. But when I saw her, she had this light, and I just knew it. It was literally love at first sight. And I know that because God works on me the way that He does, and that was that one thing. I prayed for her, and God gave me her. She gave her to me. That was that one thing. That was it. The rest we figured out later on, but that was that one thing.
Okay, real quick. We're going to go ahead and chop this up. What's going on real quick. I want to ask one question, and I'm going to start with Miss Rachel. Okay. If you had the opportunity to do it all over again, would you do it the exact same way?
Do what?
As far as falling in love with moi?
Yes, 1,000,000 times over.
You wouldn't change anything?
I wouldn't change anything.
Okay. Parris, would you change anything or keep it the way it is?
I think I would keep it the way it is. I don't think I would change anything because we're right where God intended us to be.
Neal?
Man, I changed some stuff.
You better tell the truth.
Let me tell you what I would change.
What did you change, bro?
I would not be so rigid. One of the things that Parris and I, we've heard sometimes the same thing make you laugh, make you cry. My wife is 15 years my junior, all right? And so sometimes, an older person, you have a set way of doing things. I'm very rigid in the way I do things. And part of the reason I married her is because she has a youthful energy, a youthful exuberance. And so what I was slow in doing is taking advantage of her youthful exuberance. And so the one thing I would change is just to be a little bit more loose, I guess, and enjoy life a little bit more and not believe that everything is a 911 emergency. And so for me, what I would change is just to be a little bit more relaxed, and she brought that out of me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Johanna, would you change anything or keep it the way it is? And if you would change, what would it be?
Tell the truth now. Shine it up.
No. Change anything. Okay. I would change something.
Okay.
I would have worked harder than any of those 5 things you asked for on our first date. There was a lot of fear of the unknown. What would happen, what could happen, going the route that I needed to take to make that happen. But if I could do it again, 16 years younger Johanna, I would have done it much sooner.
Chris?
Yeah, I would change something.
What's that?
kind of a right now person. You know, but it's in my mind. When I want it, I want it right now. I want it right then. And I asked her for her number. She told me no. Straight up, she told me no.
Oh boy. The tone.
And nah, you know, I'm like, Mom, I'm a smooth operator now. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had things, you know. I was preparing for my wife at that time as well because, you know, prior to that I was in the streets a lot. I was spending my checks in the club, you know, buying clothes, going straight from the club to work, buying clothes at work, right? I would change that because that took me a little bit longer to get where ultimately I wanted to be because I had to, you know, I had to filter those things that I knew weren't working for me. I had to filter those things out. So if I could change some things, she would have said yes the first time I asked and not put me through all of that. Because I knew she was supposed to be my wife, but she didn't know that she was
What took you so long, yo?
my wife. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would definitely change that, man. I would definitely change that because that took me for a whole, like, when I saw her, my life flashed before my eyes. Our life together flashed before my eyes, and when she told me no, it made me second guess everything. It made me second guess God. It made me second guess a lot of things. And I knew what I knew, but she just didn't feel that way at the time. But you know, 3 days later,
Okay, thank you.
I got that phone call.
You know, look at that man's face. Oh my God. Get to that part. What about you, baby?
All right. Would I change anything? Yes. You know what I would change?
What's that?
I would change myself in becoming more mature and more man and more responsible and ready than I am now. This would happen much sooner. And the TikTok, my growth, I guess I was a late bloomer, you want to call it. And that's one thing I would actually change to the point that I became more mature sooner to get you. That's what I would have changed. All right, we're going to tie this up for the last, okay, this is that Monterey Impromptu. Black Dove, I want y'all to introduce yourselves one more time for us.
Yes, your name and tell us how long you've been married, please and thank you.
Yes.
Chrstovia. Been married to my lovely wife for 16 years.
All right. All right. Bam!
Neal and Parris, and we will celebrate 7 years of wedding bliss.
Ow!
Yeah!
All right, baby.
Yes. Hi, I'm Rachel, and we have been married for 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah!
You still, it's a bit in this piece, baby. But check this out, look, y'all. I'm just letting you know that black love is real, and it does exist, and it's not a unicorn. You just seen 3 couples with their own stories, but yet still, every last one happy, 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 happy,
Yes.
happy, and black. Happy and black.
Yes.
And that's right, and married. Happy, black, and married. Look at that. And y'all say this don't work. Y'all say this ain't real. TikTok, they're a damn lie. So, I'm telling you, it can happen if you let it happen. Stop with these foolish ideas and all these things, and don't come out the mouth and tell me you don't need no man, and men say you don't need no woman. All that, well, that is BS, because I need my queen. I need my queen. I need my queen. So This is all we got. I'm Mun.
I'm Ray. That's our time. We thank you for yours. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Select this here to view him on TikTok.
Yeah.
And select this to see me on my social medias. I'm
Yeah.
Ray72 or on Facebook, Rachel Carowell.
That's right.
So-
Well, hold up before we do it.
I know I ain't going nowhere.
Everybody got something going on, so we're gonna have to put that out there. Put your social media.
Any information you want to share,
Yes, please.
business, up and coming, anything's, or
Yes, so I am, as I said, your girl Johanna Earthly Ramos. I am here to help you make your body a safe place to live. So you can find me on social media at Earthly Bodies and also on YouTube at Johanna Earthly Ramos. And this guy makes some great cameo appearances too.
Yeah, from
Uh-oh.
time to time. I am a new business broker to the scene.
period.
You can reach me by my email at Chrstovia@dynamitebrokers.com.
Awesome.
Owner, co-owner, PM Properties Landscape Design, local to Greenville, South Carolina. Find us online at pmpropertieslandscapedesign.com.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Yes, sir. Again, we thank you so much. We're Monterey. This was a beautiful session. This will not be the last session, but it is the first session.
That's
So,
right.
again,
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Happy Father's Day to all who it
Yes.
applies.
Big up, big up. Thank you. Boop, boop. Shabba.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Happy Father's Day.
Men.
Stop coming out the mouth saying you're a father too.
Men,
This is a man's, this
Father's
is men.
Day, strong
Father's
enough
Day.
for a woman.
But it's made for a man.
Thank you. Okay? So, that's all we got, because that's all we giving you. So, until the next time, peace out.
Peace.